rough town, though, I suppose.
You think he'll put up a fight?
I don't know, Chester. He's pretty mean from all reports. He may. We'll try to avoid it, though.
Of course, we're only guessing anyway. He might not even be here.
He always heads to Abilene when he gets in trouble. It's his hometown. He'll be here. One good thing, it's Bill Hickok's town, too. At least we'll have the local sheriff on our side for once.
Yeah. I suppose that's some help.
Some help. I'd rather have Wild Bill along than anybody I know.
I suppose.
Chester, what's the matter with you? You're acting like a man at his own funeral.
Mr. Dillon, I've had an uneasy feeling ever since we left Dodge. Kind of a hunch, you might say.
Oh, it's nonsense. They're going to pick up a killer and take him back for trial. That's all.
Maybe. And maybe not.
Hey, welcome to the show, Bud Files. Hope you're doing all right today. Hope you're having a good afternoon, good evening.
But if he's got any sense, he keeps from thinking about it. Of course, he can't help getting a hunch now and then. I had plenty of them myself. Mostly wrong. Come on, Chester, let's walk down to the Last Chance and I'll buy you a drink. As a matter of fact, I'll buy us both a drink.
What'll you have, boys?
Rye for me.
Yes, sir. You can make mine the same.
A bottle of rye and a couple of glasses.
Quite a crowd in here for this time of day.
Yeah. I've been looking around for Wild Bill, but I don't see him.
Suppose the Daggett kid might be in here, Mr. Dillon?
Well, he spent most of his time hanging around the saloons while he was in Dodge.
Here you are, boys. Drink up.
Thank you. Oh, by the way, bartender, do you happen to know a kid around town by the name of...
Who, mister?
What? Oh, never mind. Well, he's here, Chester. Down there at the end of the bar.
Yeah. That's him, all right. Well, sir, Mr. Dillon?
He's what we're here for.
We gonna wait for Mr. Hickok?
No. Come up on his left side, Chester, and watch his gun handle.
Yes, sir, Mr. Dillon.
Gentlemen, the funniest sight you ever seen. Both knocked that scrawny iron dog end over end. First shot fired. Caught him right in the back of the...
You're Jack Daggett, aren't you?
That's right, mister. What about it?
My name's Dillon, U.S. Marshal from Dodge. You're under arrest.
You're kind of out of your territory, aren't you?
Marshal's territory's anywhere. I'll take that gun of yours now.
You will, huh? All right.
Drop it. Drop the gun.
Let go of my wrist!
The gun!
Drop nothing!
You heard you, Marshal. That was easy, Mr. Dillon. A lot easier than what I thought it'd be.
All right, Chester, put the cuffs on him.
Yes.
Seems to me your partner acted a little high-handed there, Marshal.
It does, huh?
Now, he had no call to slug that boy in the head that way.
Would you rather I'd have put a bullet in his belly? Chester saved his life, that's all. He was drawing on me.
Well, now, if you'd come around and seen me before you started anything, you wouldn't have had this trouble. My name is Rourke. I'm the town constable here.
I see.
Young Jack here told me all about that shooting out in Dodge. Said they ganged up on him in a poker game, tried to cheat him. Forced him to shoot his way out.
That's a good story. Too bad it didn't happen that way. All right, Chester, let's get him on his feet and go find the sheriff.
I reckon you won't be finding him, Marshal.
Why not?
Hickok's up at Topeka. Won't be back for a week or 10 days. Meantime, I'm the law in Abilene.
And I got a favor to ask from you. I'd like to use one of your jail cells until 9 o'clock. That's when the next train leaves for Dodge.
I'm sorry, Marshal. I got no authority to do anything like that.
What difference does that make? If Wild Bill were here, he'd let me do it.
But Wild Bill ain't here.
I see.
A lot of us folks here like to run our own town. We don't like outsiders coming in and taking over. 4 hours till that train leaves, Marshal. I think you're going to find 4 hours is a long time.
Meaning?
This young fella you arrested has got a couple of older brothers. Daggett boys. Probably never heard of them, but you're going to. They're not going to like this.
I don't care much what they like.
Maybe they'll teach you to care when they hear about this. And they'll hear. Like I said, 4 hours is a long time.
Look, I want you to get this straight. I came here to arrest the killer and take him back to Dodge to stand trial. I got him under arrest now, and I'm going to take him back.
Maybe.
All right, Chester, let's get him out of here. Get hold of his other arm there. Lift him up.
Yes, sir. Get him out if you want.
Mr. Dillon,
What is it, Chester?
maybe it was too easy.
Yes, gentlemen. What can I do for you?
I would like to get a room, please.
Well, I have a very nice one right at the head of the stairs. If you'd care to look
Okay,
at
that won't be necessary. We'll only need it for about 4 hours until the train leaves for Dodge.
Well, if you just sign the register here.
Thank you.
Aye.
Kenneth, welcome to the show. How you doing tonight, buddy?
Yes, sir.
Hope you're doing okay.
Head. Oh, really? Well, it's certainly a bad cut just to... Boy, that's one of the Daggett boys. Young Jack Daggett.
Yeah, that's right. I got him under arrest for murder. Now, where's the room?
You arrested Jack Daggett? Right here in Abilene?
Yeah. You said the room was up.
And you're planning to keep him here at my hotel for the next 4 hours?
But I can't stand out there on the street with him.
Marshal, do you know what's going to happen when the Daggett boys hear about this?
No, but I understand they may not like it very much.
May not like it. I'm sorry, sir, but you cannot stay here. I will not let my hotel be made the scene of a bloody massacre.
Now, just a minute, mister. You've rented me a room. I've signed the register, and I've got the key.
I
I'm going
know,
to use
but
that room until 9 o'clock, whether you like it or not.
It's the second door at the top of the stairs.
Thank you. Come on, Daggett. Move.
You heard him, son. Come on.
Get your hands off.
There's just one thing, sir.
Yeah.
It's not a question of your honesty, you understand, but in view of the circumstances, I wonder if you'd mind paying in advance.
What time is it, Chester?
It's 6:23, Mr. Dillon.
I thought it was later than that.
Yes, sir, I know. He goes pretty slow when you're waiting for something like this. I swear I wished it was 9 o'clock. I wished we were leaving on that train right now.
You're not leaving on no train. Not alive.
You got a one-track mind, Daggett.
So have my brothers, Dillon. What they think about all the time is hands off the Daggets. That goes for you or anybody else.
Reckon we ought to stuff a pillow in his mouth, Mr. Dillon?
Might not be a bad idea.
You won't think it's funny when they come around.
But maybe they won't come around. Maybe they decided. Cover the door from the other side, Chester.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, who is it?
It's me, sir, the clerk.
What do you want?
It's the Daggett boys. They're across the street at the last chance right now.
And you're hoping I'll go over there instead of waiting for them to come here, huh?
Well,
All right. I'd rather jump them than have it the other way around. Chester, I guess we'll go over and have a talk with him.
What about him?
No, he's cuffed hand and foot to a pretty solid iron bed. I don't think he's going anywhere.
Bet on it.
You ready, Chester?
I'm ready whenever you are, Mr. Dillon.
All right, let's go.
We will return for the second act of Gunsmoke in just a moment. But first, this Monday night on most of these same stations, be sure to be with us when Lux Radio Theater raises the curtain on its full-hour adaptation of the exciting screenplay Phone Call from a Stranger. Shelley Winters and Gary Merrill recreate their original screen roles in this dramatic thriller about the experiences of a lone survivor of an airplane crash and bringing the tragic news to families of the victims. Remember, it's on Lux Radio Theater this Monday night on CBS Radio. Now for the second act of Gunsmoke.
That must be them, Mr. Dillon. Across the room there.
Yeah, I guess so. They look a lot like Jack. And they look mad. There's quite a crowd around them. Well, Chester, the only way to get it over is to get it started.
Yes, sir. How will we do it, Mr. Dillon?
I haven't got a plan, Chester. Face them down, that's all.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, your deal.
You the Daggett brothers?
What if we are? This is him, Jim. This is a fellow.
Shut up, Rourke. You've been glad enough to stay out of this so far. Stay out of it now. My name's Dillon, United States Marshal from Dodge City. I got your brother Jack under arrest for murder. You probably heard about it.
Yeah, rumors got around.
I'm taking him out of here on the 9 o'clock train. He's going back to Dodge to stand trial. My guess is he's going to hang. Now, the point is, what are you going to do about it?
Why didn't you wait? We'd have looked you up.
You didn't answer my question.
Still 2 hours and a half till 9 o'clock. I reckon we've got plenty of time yet. We'll wait.
Why wait? What's the matter with now?
Would rather wait.
Maybe you're trying to pick up some helpers among this bunch of hangers-on, huh? Well, look at them. Each one trying to sneak behind the man next to him. If you're counting on any help there, you better forget it.
You're pushing your luck, Dillon.
I don't think so. You boys are full of talk, and that's all. You never even intended to start anything.
You're a dirty liar. We're going to do plenty.
Now, don't you move, either one of you. You covering my back, Chester?
Yes,
All right. I'll take that gun. Thank you. Yours, too.
Sure play, Dillon. Where it stands now.
Thank you. Here, Chester. Kick those back under the tables.
Yes, sir. All right, folks, just leave them lay, please. Don't nobody touch them.
Here, Chester. Now hold on to my gun.
All right, Mr. Dillon?
Now just keep them off my back.
Yes, sir.
You. Come here.
Sure.
You called me a liar, didn't you?
Yeah.
What, you cheat tin whore? You are
I thought you Daggetts were tough.
Watch this, watch this.
All right, you. You're next.
I'll wait, Marshal. I'll get to you later.
You're a no-good coward, Daggett. All right, Chester, I'll take my gun back now.
Here you are, sir.
Thank you. All right, boys, the show's over. Unless, of course, one of you'd like to take up where the Daggetts left off. Any one of you still figuring on helping them try to take my prisoner away from me? No? I didn't think so. You're all fine, upright citizens now, huh? A pride and joy to Constable Rourke here.
That's enough, Dillon.
I thought I told you boys the show was over. All right, get out. Go on, get out, all of you. Move!
Marshal, I'd say you overreached yourself there. Stepped past the limits of your authority.
How I enforce the law is my own business. I do things my own way.
The way it'll get you killed someday.
Maybe.
I have to live in this town, Dillon. You don't know these Daggett brothers. If you cross them, you're through. I've seen it happen.
Come on, Chester, let's go.
All right, Mr. Dillon.
What time is it, Chester?
It's 7:45, Mr. Dillon.
Yeah, the time's dragging.
Yes, sir. It's still an hour and 15 minutes till that train leaves.
What difference does it make? You're not going to be on it. Neither one of you are.
The way I'm figuring, Jack, we'll all three be on it.
You wait and see. You'll never get to that train. My brothers will take care of you.
I don't seem to be in any hurry about it.
You wait.
I sure do wish I hadn't had such an uneasy hunch about this trip.
Forget it, Chester.
They'll stop you. You just wait.
It's only 8:15. Mr. Dillon seems to be going slower all the time.
Adds up, though. Won't be much longer now.
45 minutes, if the train's on time. And if we're lucky enough to get on it.
Chester, you're wearing yourself out. Why don't you sit down and relax, huh?
I just can't seem to set my mind to it, Mr. Dillon.
No Daggett will ever leave this town wearing handcuffs as long as the other two are alive.
Well, I'd think that's up to them, Jack.
Sure. And they'll take care of it, too.
I swear and declare, Mr. Dillon, I almost wish they would try something and get it over with.
The waiting's always the worst part, Chester.
You find out what the worst part is.
I could slug him, Mr. Dillon.
No, let him talk. Let him talk, Chester. He's only got a few more weeks to do it in.
Christina Payne, welcome to the show. Thanks for showing up, stopping in.
I'll never even stand trial.
I appreciate it.
You wait and see.
Chester?
It's 8:30 exactly, Mr. Dillon.
All right. Let's get started.
A little early, isn't it? Won't take that long to walk from here to the station.
It might if we have trouble.
Yes, sir, I guess it might.
You'll have trouble, don't you worry about that.
Jack, why don't you get on a new subject?
How are we going to take him, Mr. Dillon? Just drag him?
If he wants it that way. Otherwise, he'll walk handcuffed to my left wrist. Keep him covered, Chester. I'll unlock these cuffs and get him loose from the bed.
Yes, sir. Dillon, you're smart. You leave me here and run while you still got the chance.
Well, I've never been smart enough to run yet. Stick out your right wrist. All right. On your feet. Come on.
Got it.
You can put your gun away, Chester. Starting now, he's only going where I go. Now, come on, Jack. We got a train to catch.
Thank heaven, gentlemen, you're leaving.
Yeah, we're leaving. And I want to thank you for your wonderful hospitality. I'll be glad to recommend your hotel to anybody who plans to stop over in Abilene.
Oh, I hardly know what to say, Marshal. You simply don't understand. You don't know these Daggett brothers. No offense personally, Jack. I have to live in this town, and I...
Come on, Jack.
I...
You boys must run quite a bluff. You got everybody in town jumping sideways.
You'd be smart if you did, Dillon.
Good luck, gentlemen. Best of luck to all of you.
All of us. Well, that's hedging, isn't it?
But there, Mr. Dillon, not a soul on the street. Quiet as a graveyard.
Yeah. They're going to make a play, Chester, somewhere between here and the depot. We can count on that.
Yes, sir, I kind of figured they would. Especially after getting beat up over there at the saloon.
Well, they would have anyway. And jumping them like that did one good thing. It scared the pack off. At least we only have to worry about the Daggets, not a mob.
You think it's a mob
Shut
by
up.
the time...
Now, from here on, you keep your mouth shut. If you don't so help me, I'll slug you and drag you to the depot. All right, now let's go.
Nothing, not a soul. I never thought I'd see the main street of Abilene deserted at this time of night.
Not deserted, Chester. They're inside, behind the shutters. But at least they're staying out of it.
I wonder if coyotes are as lonely.
It was okay,
as
Christina.
Mr. Dillon.
Not as great as yours, though.
Couldn't be,
Mm-hmm.
Chester. Watch that left side up ahead of us, sir. It's pretty dark along there.
Yes, sir. They might jump us from behind.
I don't think so. Too many people watching. They gotta keep up their reputation.
I hope you're right.
Chester, there at the corner of the bank, somebody moved.
Across the street, too. In the shadow.
Take the one in the shadow, Chester.
Yes, sir.
There's one down, Chester. The other one's still there in the shadows. Get him if you can. Jack here's ruining my aim.
I'll run more. Good for you, Mr. Dillon. You ought to slugged him sooner.
I didn't slug him, Chester. He caught a bullet that was meant for me.
Shot by one of his own brothers. Here, let me unlock those handcuffs, Mr. Dillon.
No time. Here, I'll get him up on my shoulder and... All right, let's move in. Keep firing.
Yes.
Hold it, Chester. Well, I guess we got the other one. Here, let me get him off my shoulder. Get these handcuffs off. Well, there's our prisoner, Jack Daggett. Wanted for murder, killed by his own brother. Let's take a look at the others. Three men dead.
Look down the street there, Mr. Dillon. They're all starting to crawl out of their holes.
Sure, they're all on our side now. Oh, come on, Chester, the train's coming. We gotta get on it and get out of here.
Yes.
Let Rourke clean up this mess. He ought to be good for something. That sounds more lonesome than the coyotes. Gives a man the creeps.
Yes, sir, it sure does.
Well, you were wrong about that hunch of yours, Chester. It wasn't us. Not this time.
Gunsmoke, under the direction of Norman MacDonald, stars William Conrad as Matt Dillon, U.S. Marshal. Tonight's story was specially written for Gunsmoke by Les Crutchfield, with music composed and conducted by Rex Corey. Featured in the cast were Sam Edwards and Barney Phillips, with John Daner, Tom Tully, Larry Dobkin, and Jim Nusser. Parley Bear is Chester. Gunsmoke is heard by our troops overseas through the facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. Join us again next week as Matt Dillon, U.S. Marshal, fights to bring law and order out of the wild violence of the West in Gunsmoke. Tomorrow night, Lionel Barrymore and your Hallmark Playhouse invite you to enjoy another Hollywood cast bringing you another drama in the tradition of this fine program. Every week, your Hallmark Playhouse features Lionel Barrymore as host. Frequently, Mr. Barrymore stars as well. Historic dramas, stories about the human side of patriots, presidents, pioneers, and adaptations from literature. Enjoy them on Hallmark Playhouse over most of these same stations, presented by CBS Radio. This is Roy Rowan speaking. And remember, for thrilling dramas of escape, listen Sunday nights to the CBS Radio Network. Around Dodge City and in the territory on West, there's just one way to handle the killers and the spoilers, and that's with a U.S. Marshal and the smell of gun smoke. Gunsmoke, starring William Conrad. The story of the violence that moved west with young America. The story of a man who moved with it. Matt Dillon, United States Marshal.
Not up there, Mr. Dillon. He's just plain vanished.
There's no note anywhere? You sure of that, Chester?
Nothing, sir. I looked again, all over.
Well, it's 2 days now. This isn't like Doc.
Well, I still think he's just gone off on an emergency. Out in the country somewhere.
Maybe, but he's always left word before.
Well, what'll we do, Mr. Dillon?
I don't know. Might start asking people, Chester. Try the saloons and the store and maybe the depot.
All right, Mr. Dillon, I'll go right now.
All right.
Well, I do declare.
What?
Riding right up Front Street as big as life.
Lock's really strong.
Why, that old rascal getting us all worried about it.
For the land's sake, you sure are a sight for sore eyes, Doc. Where in the world have you been at, anyway?
Hello, Chester. Matt.
You had us worried, Doc.
That's so?
You've been gone 2 days.
I know.
Next time, leave word, Doc.
I will. I surely will. If I can.
Well, it'd sure save us a lot
Now,
of pressure.
wait a minute. Well, what do you mean, Doc, if you can?
Just that. If they let me, I'll leave word.
Come on inside, Doc. Well, all right, I'm curious, Doc. You want to tell me about it?
I can tell you part of it, least important part. I made a promise about the rest. You know how it is, Matt.
No, but you tell me.
Well, the other night, Wednesday it was, I was peacefully asleep on my couch when a couple of riders tromped right into my office. They said a man was hurt somewhere out past Fort Dodge, so naturally I got up and I went along with them.
Well, then why didn't you leave a note and say so?
They didn't tell me exactly where we was going, Chester, but they sure told me not to leave any note.
They told you what?
Let him talk, Chester.
Now, of course, I figured then it must have been a shooting, but my job's to take care of everybody. Sinner and save the light. And so, when finally we got to this place the next day...
What place?
That's part of what I promised not to tell, Chester. But like I was saying, there was a young man there who'd got himself shot in the back. The bullet lodged right in his spine. And I dug it out, and I did all I could for him. And then I just sat there for quite a spell. And then I put my things away. And I walked out into the other room.
Doc, how is it?
I did what I could.
What do you mean?
He's dead. The shot was extracting that bullet from a... It's a bad thing.
You killed him, huh, Doc?
No, I didn't kill him.
He's dead, ain't he?
Look, mister, doctors don't kill people. Murderers
Watch
do.
your mouth, Doc.
That boy wouldn't have lived more than a couple of days with that bullet where it was. And whoever put it there murdered him.
You want me to shove him up?
Not yet. Doc, tell me something. You know that boy in there?
I do.
Sure. And the three of us here, you know any of us?
Him. I've seen him around somewhere. Dodge, I guess.
Well, that settles it. He ain't walking out of here.
Shut up. Know his name, Doc?
No, I don't. Of course, it might come to me. Let me think now.
Now, you don't understand, Doc. He wants to kill you already. Now you're trying to remember his name. That's just going to make it worse.
You can't kill a doctor for following his oath.
Well, no. I shot that boy when he tried to get away, and I shoot you just as...
Don't be a fool. I'm a doctor. Since there's nothing more I can do here, I got to be available to other patients. I've been away too long.
No, what are we arguing about? The sooner we shoot him, the better.
What kind of a man are you, anyways? Don't you know I'm the only doctor within 100 miles of Dodge?
Right now, it's one too many.
Now, wait a minute. I'm kind of thinking the Doc's right. He ain't like an ordinary man. But doctor, well, it's almost like he ain't quite human somehow.
He's human enough to tell what he knows that hard-headed marshal he got in Dodge. Then we'll have him on our tail. We'll never get our 20,000. Well, I figure it's us or the Doc.
I'm not interested in what you figure, mister. Right this minute, there may be some woman having a baby and needing me real bad. There may be several folk needing me for help.
He's right. We can't kill him.
I can't.
You'll do what I say and nothing else, here? Oh. Doc, listen to me. If I let you go, will you promise not to tell about anybody you recognize here?
And if I don't?
And doctor or no doctor, I'll kill you myself.
Yeah, I suppose you would. All right. I'm here as a doctor and nothing else. I promise.
Word of honor, Doc?
That's my word of honor.
Okay, get out. One other thing, Doc.
What?
You break your word. You tell anybody where this place is or who you saw here, and we'll get to you. We'll kill you no matter where you try to hide.
I gave him my word, didn't I?
Sure, but don't forget what I said anyway. Don't forget for 1 minute. We'll kill you or die trying.
That's quite a story, Doc.
And you played it right smart, if you ask me. Who were they, Doc? Well, tell us.
Well, I only recognize one of them, Chester. Besides the man they'd shot.
So you said. Have you thought of his name
No, Chester, you don't understand. I gave my word I wouldn't tell.
yet? Yes, but that was just so you could get away.
Well, they shot me for sure otherwise, but still I gave my word. It don't matter how or why.
But, Doc, they're just a bunch of killers.
I know.
Leave him alone,
But,
Chester.
Mr. Dillon... Yes, sir.
Matt,
Yeah, Doc.
wouldn't you do the same if you were in my boots?
That'd be a hard choice, Doc.
Why, any man would. Leastwise, any man of honor would.
I guess I wasn't really thinking about it that way.
Yeah, well, I'm going to get some sleep. Matt, that was a good boy they murdered. I hope they hang for it. Oh, Dad blasted him.
How are we ever going to find them, Mr. Dillon?
I don't know, Chester. We don't even know who they killed.
Funny, we haven't heard about it.
Maybe nobody's missed him yet.
Just think. Doc could lead us straight to them right now.
Well, that isn't making the Doc happy, Chester.
No, sir, it sure isn't.
I'm going over the Texas Trail, Chester. I'll be back later.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Sam, bring me over a bottle and a glass, will you?
Hello, man.
Oh, hi, Kitty.
You want some help for that bottle?
Yeah, sure. I'm only going to have one. You can finish it. Sit down.
Oh, my reputation's bad enough without my trying to get around carrying a bottle with a bit of whiskey in me.
There you be. Oh, thank you, Sam. There you are, Kitty. Well, here's to luck.
Yeah, I could use some. Oh, you didn't come here to drink a bottle of rye, Matt. What's on your mind?
Well, Kitty, I was sort of wondering if maybe you'd heard any talk about anybody being missing lately.
Missing? Who?
Well, that's just the point. I don't know who.
I guess you're not on much of a trail, are you, Matt?
Well, a man was shot and he's dead. And I don't know who he was or who did it or where. All I know is that it happened.
I'll be darned. Well, Matt, I don't know a thing I've heard that'd help. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was just a chance.
Well, it's not often a man gets shot around here without everybody knowing about it.
Well, I'm glad for that much anyway. Well, thanks, Kitty.
Well, good luck, Matt.
Yeah, take it easy with that bottle.
Yeah, I'll save it for you.
So long.
See you, Matt.
Doc's been asleep for 6 straight hours, Mr. Dillon. He sure must have been tired.
Yeah. Here, Chester, take these letters down to the depot for me, will you? They gotta be in Washington next week.
Santa Fe pulls out in an hour, sir. I'll put them right in the mail car.
Locke's really strong.
Marshal?
Security's too good.
Why, Jake Worth, why, you haven't come into Dodge in the last 6 months that I know of.
I'm here now, Marshal.
Oh? Trouble, Jake?
I'd call it that.
Well?
You know that cottonwood, the big one down at Brandy Bend?
Yeah?
There's a hole cut down by the roots at the north side of it. I put a sack in that hole this morning. It's got $20,000 in it.
It's a lot of money, Jake, even for you.
It isn't if Hank gets back all right.
Hank? That's your youngest boy, isn't it, Jake?
Yeah, 18 last month.
Yeah. And that's ransom money. Your boy's been kidnapped, huh?
He didn't show up the other night, Marshal. Next morning, I found a note tacked on the corral. Said to leave the money or they'd kill him.
Oh, come on, Jake. We'll try to get there before they pick up the money.
No, Marshal, I won't take any chances. They'd shoot him sure if we did that.
You should have told me before you left the money. You should have come here first, you know?
You didn't hear what I said, Marshal. I won't take the chance. All I want now is for you to watch for anybody who turns up rich around here.
Jake, I want you to listen to me.
Now, you listen to me, Marshal. Nobody is going to do a thing till Hank's back safe on the ranch. Not one dang thing.
Jake, if they killed Hank, you'd want him hung, wouldn't you?
I'll hang him myself if it comes to that. I'll hunt him down like wolves.
All right, then let's go. Let's get on to Brandy Bend and wait for him.
No. I already told you no.
Hank's dead, Jake.
Huh?
They already shot him. And he's dead.
What are you talking about? Where is he?
I don't know.
Won't be able to pick
And
this.
how come you know he's dead?
I can't tell you.
Marshal, I've had about enough of this.
We're wasting time here. Come on, Jake. I'll tell you what I can on the way to the river.
You better, by heaven, or one of us ain't never gonna get to the river.
Jake Worth was known as a hard, hot-tempered man, but he was straight as they come. He'd made one fortune in Texas cattle and another in buffalo hides, and now all he wanted was his ranch and his 3 sons to work it with him. The Worths were good men. They didn't cause any trouble, and they worked hard. It was hard to tell Jake, but without mentioning Doc, I said what I could. And when we reached the Arkansas, we hid our horses in a clump of bush and worked our way on foot up to the big cottonwood. And I stood up and walked out into the open.
What are you doing, Marshal? You gone crazy?
Come on, Jake. No use to hide now.
Oh. That's him there, isn't it? That's Hank?
I'm afraid so, Jake.
They killed him. They killed him, all right. He was a good boy. Had his whole life to live yet. Why'd they do it? I gave him the money. Why'd they do it?
I'm sorry, Jake.
Marshal, I've been kind of confused by all this. I swallowed your story on the way down here. But I want the truth now. Every bit of it.
That's all I know, Jake. Hank tried to break and one of them shot him. But we'll get him.
I'll take care of myself soon as you tell me who they are.
I don't know who they are.
Don't lie to me, Marshal. You know a lot you're not telling me. What's going on with you,
I've told you all I can,
That's
Jake.
my boy lying there, Marshal. He's been murdered. And if I didn't know you so well, I'd begin to think maybe you had something to do with
Now,
it
just
yourself.
a minute, Jake. I know you're upset.
Then why don't you tell me?
Because the man who told me about it had to promise not to name anybody, that's why.
What man? Who is he? I'll get it out of him if I have to cut it out.
Yeah, I know. That's why I can't tell you who he is.
What kind of a lawman are you, anyway?
I've told you all I can, Jake.
No, you haven't. Marshal, I don't believe your story about nobody. Promise nothing. You know who done it. And you're going to tell me or
Don't try it, Jake. You can't kill me, and you know it.
No, I can't. Me and my boys can. And I'm giving you 24 hours to name those men, and then we're coming to Dodge. There'll be blood spilt, Marshal.
Jake, I give you my word, I don't know who did it.
I don't believe you.
I'll help you take your boy home now.
Run. Go on back to Dodge. I'll manage here.
You're making a bad mistake, Jake.
24 hours, Marshal.
I'll be there.
We'll find you wherever you be.
Jake, I want... So long, Jake.
We will return for the second act of Gunsmoke in just a moment. But first, 300,000 volunteers are needed for the Ground Observer Corps. This spare time activity serves as a vital supplement of the Air Defense Command radar network, which has certain unavoidable blind spots due to the curvature of the Earth. Men and women from teenage up are urged to become ground observers. Get in touch with your nearest Civil Defense Center. Now for the second act of Gunsmoke.
There was no use arguing with him. The man's grief had destroyed his reason. And the worst of it was, I knew his sons would do whatever Jake told them to do. Unless I could stop it somehow, I'd have to shoot it out with 3 good and perfectly innocent men. For no reason at all. I thought about it all the way back to Dodge, and by the time I got there, I had an idea. I went up to Doc's and talked it over with him.
All right, man. I'll do whatever I can.
It might not work, Doc, and you'll be exposing yourself to a lot of danger. Have you thought about that?
I have. I've been thinking about the men who killed Hank Worth.
Oh, we could wait till they start spending their money, or till one of them gets drunk and maybe talks too much somewhere.
We could. But meantime, you and the Worths will have a gunfight. Oh, now, it'd be a terrible thing to let happen.
All right, then, Doc, let's go. I want to get to the ranch before dark.
Yeah, maybe Jake's cooled off by now. Enough not to start shooting on sight anyway.
We'll soon find out. Come on.
You know, man, I haven't been out here since Mrs. Worth died. Oh, that must be 4 or 5 years ago. Oh, the place sure has changed, hasn't it?
Yeah. I don't see anybody around, do you?
Maybe they saw us first. Maybe they're hid out.
I hope not.
See, Matt, I got an idea. Why don't you take your gun off and hang it around your saddle horn? Then they'll know you come peaceable.
I can't take a chance like that, Doc. Not with Jake in his state. But I won't shoot unless I have to.
He who lives by the sword.
Look, Doc, I'm doing everything I can to avoid this thing. But I'll kill all 3 of them if I have to.
All right, Matt, I understand.
So you get one of those fancy vault suits. Those one size
That's
fit
far
all.
enough, Marshal. Watch him, boys. If he makes a move, shoot. Yes,
Jake, I came here to stop a shooting, not to start one.
You can stop it, Marshal. Just tell me who killed my son.
If I knew I'd be on his trail, Jake.
I'm not sure of that at all. What's Doc doing here?
Tell him, Doc.
I took the bullet out of Hank. He died soon after.
What?
That's right, Jake. Now come down here where we can talk like friends, and I'll explain it to you.
If you need a head.
Here we are, boys.
John, you know, a shotgun's great insurance against raiders, but I got a lot of options.
All right, Doc, let's hear it.
Well, they got me out of bed,
Self-defense,
Jake, and they led me out into the country. Hank had been shot in the back, and I extracted the bullet, but it was no use. He'd have died anyway. There were 3 men there, and I recognized one of them.
Who was he?
Well, I had to promise I wouldn't tell, Jake, or they'd have killed me.
That don't matter
Now, think about it a minute, Jake. Doc gave him his word. And you're asking him to break it. Now, think about it for a minute.
I'm thinking about my boy, too.
Hank's dead. You can't help him now.
Shot in the back, and the coward who did it's run free.
You want to help get him, Jake?
Don't ask fool questions, Marshal. Of course I want to get him.
Now, then listen to me. Those men told Doc if he talked, they'd kill him.
Yeah, they meant it, too.
All right, so I got an idea now, Jake. We'll spread it around that Doc has identified the killer. The news will reach him soon enough, and meantime, I'm going to lay low. And I'll have Chester tell everybody that I've ridden out after them.
Go on.
Then we'll just wait. 1 or 2 or maybe all 3 of them will come into Dodge to kill Doc some night soon.
He still might get away.
And I'll deputize you and your boys right now, and you can wait for them with us. You'll have to stay hidden like me, of course.
We won't mind that. Now that we get a chance at them, we won't.
All right, good.
Yeah. Funny thing, though.
What?
Man like Doc here, rather than break his word, he'll make himself a target for those killers.
Yeah. Look, Jake, Doc and I are going to go back to Dodge now. I'll see that the story gets started, and in a day or 2, you and your boys can ride in. But separately, though. Otherwise, it might cause talk.
I understand.
And come straight to Doc's.
We'll get there.
For the next few days, Doc never left his office. I figured that'd make him look scared and draw the killers right into our trap. The rest of us sat around in his back room and waited. Chester kept us supplied with food and coffee, but we began to get pretty restless cooped up like that. And by the 5th night, we were being real careful with one another and over polite. But on the 6th night, about midnight, we got our game.
Mr. Dillon, I think it's them.
How we doing, Chase? Welcome to the show.
They're tying up outside right now. They acted too deliberate like for ordinary riders, so I run up the back way to tell you.
Doc, come on in.
What do you want me to do, Mac?
Take cover in here and stay out of sight.
Yeah, whatever you say, Mac.
Let's go downstairs and meet them, Marshal.
No, we might just scatter them that way. Now, listen. One of them will probably stand guard on the street while the other 2 come up here to get Doc. Chester, you and the 2 boys go down the back way. Jake and I'll wait in the Doc's office. But don't jump that man while we go into action up here. Do you understand?
I got it, sir.
All right, then move fast. Come on, Jake.
Now what?
Now we'll just wait here in the dark.
Good.
I'll fix Doc's blanket on the couch here so they'll think he's in it.
They're on the stairs now.
All right, get back in the corner, Jake, or we'll be shooting each other.
All right.
Quiet now. Don't start shooting till I do.
Doc, wake up, you lying dog. Just shoot him and get out of here.
Wait.
Can't hear.
What? Get your hands up. You're under arrest, both of you.
It's a trap.
You all right, Jake?
Got one of them. I'm all right.
Doc? Doc, you can come on out now.
Yeah, all right, Mac.
Oh, I hear that. Love the
They're
naps.
dead. Light the lamp, will you, Doc?
All right. Like the next. Okay, Mr. Dillon?
Yeah, come in, Chester.
Well, we got him, Mr. Dillon. He tried to get away when he heard you up here, but he ran smack into one of the Worth boys. He's dead.
Yeah. Well, I don't know either one of these men. Doc, you can tell us now. Is one of these the man you recognize?
Let me see here. This one here. I remembered later I treated him for a broken nose some time back. I never did know his name, though. He come up on the, up the trail with a herd, I think.
It don't matter now, long as they're all dead.
Oh, well. Bring the other bodies up, Chester. I'll do the autopsies quick, and I'll get them out of here. It's about time I got something out of all this.
Okay, Doc.
I'll fetch him.
Well, Jake,
I'm satisfied, Marshal. Me and the boys will be getting back to the ranch now.
sure.
Marshal,
Yeah?
I doubted you. I'm sorry for that.
Forget it, Jake.
No. No, it's best I remember it. Man shouldn't make mistakes like that.
Well, there was no harm done. The way it worked out.
I'll buy you a drink before we leave, Marshal.
I think I'd like that, Jake. Come on, let's go.
Gunsmoke, under the direction of Norman MacDonald, stars William Conrad as Matt Dillon, U.S. Marshal. Tonight's story was specially written for Gunsmoke by John Meston, with music composed and conducted by Rex Corey. Featured in the cast were John Daner with Lawrence Dobkin and Harry Bartell. Parley Bear is Chester, Howard McNear is Doc, and Georgia Ellis is Kitty. Gunsmoke is heard by our troops overseas through the facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. Join us again next week as Matt Dillon, U.S. Marshal, fights to bring law and order out of the wild violence of the West in Gunsmoke.
Just tears. Another stray coming in from the rain.
Get a
Afraid
can
you're
of
too
Dr.
late.
Lyons
Office
tooth
is
powder
closed.
today for a few cents at any drugstore. See what a surprise you get the first time you use it. We believe you will never again return to ordinary, less effective ways of cleaning your teeth.
You don't get it. The detective, he's gone. Missing.
Around Dodge City and in the territory on West, there's just one way to handle the killers and the spoilers, and that's with the U.S. Marshal and the smell of Gunsmoke.
Station. There's an old vault down there that they use as a base. I told Nick he was walking into a trap, but he just smiled and walked through the door like he always does.
Who's this skinny Malone?
I don't know much about him, but
Gunsmoke, starring William Conrad. The story of the violence that moved west with young America. The story of a man who moved with it. Matt Dillon, United States
Nick should
Marshal.
be easy to spot. He's always wearing that old hat and trench coat getup. Please, hurry.
Hey, we need to focus on taking the castle. We need to focus on taking the castle.
Oh, goodness. Broke a doorknob? Holy cow.
Over here.
Superhuman strength.
One of the boys said you wanted to see me.
Yeah.
That'd be important, mister. I don't make a habit of coming around with some saddle punk whistles.
Maybe you hadn't ought to make a habit of calling people saddle punks.
Don't know, Snapper.
No offense, just an expression.
Sure.
You think a good neighbor? Friggin' hole.
I came up from the Pecos country. Been here in Dodge about a week. Maybe you've seen me around.
I've seen you.
I've been talking to people.
Oh?
Everybody tells me you were a big shot back in Abilene. You had all the gaming sewed up, 3 or 4 saloons paying off, a couple of hotels and so on. Then the boom busted and you come here, and you got nowhere. Know why?
You're talking. You tell me why.
Dillon. fellow named Matt Dillon, a U.S. Marshal. You tried to scare him, and he wouldn't scare. Tried to buy him, and wouldn't buy. Tried breaking him, wouldn't break.
So?
Be worth $5,000 to you if I kill him?
Mike?
All right, get it in gold. Keep it handy. My hard?
Yeah, you're hired. Chester, I know you've been sick and you still got a cold, but is there anything else wrong?
What do you mean, Mr. Dillon?
Well, you haven't said 3 words in the last 20 minutes. That's not like you.
Well, Mr. Dillon, did you ever get a funny feeling somebody was keeping an eye on you?
Well, yeah, but...
Well, I got one right now.
Chester, I think you got a touch of the heebie-jeebies.
Maybe. But I tell you, I know there's
Well, as
somebody...
far as I can see, there's nobody in the whole place even paying any attention to us.
Somebody is. I had the same feeling the day the Butler brothers come back from Santa Fe.
Yeah?
I didn't even know they was in town, but I knew somebody was getting ready to call us. And about 6 that evening, they made their play, remember?
Yeah, I remember.
I was one of the pallbearers the next day. Well, it's the same thing now. There's gonna be trouble, Mr. Dillon. You can bet on it.
I think you got the wind up over nothing, Chester. Why, the town's never been quieter. Jail's been empty for 2 weeks. Only new faces around is that bunch of trail drivers that came up from the Pecos. They're all strangers. None of them got any reason to hold a grudge.
Oh, there you be.
What?
They've been looking all over for you, Marshal.
Oh, hiya, Billy.
Waited over to the jail for nigh on an hour. I've got to talk to you, Mr. Dillon.
I'm sorry, Billy, but every time I give you money, you buy yourself a bottle and then stay blind drunk for 2 days.
It ain't money this time, Mr. Dillon. I got something to tell you.
Oh? What?
Something I hear. There's a couple fellers talking over to the liver stable. They didn't see me. I was back at the water trough. Sort of, well, resting, you might say.
Yeah.
Well, you know how it is, Mr. Dillon. The man gets dry in this prairie country and he just
What
right
were they
in.
talking about, Billy?
What does he do? Locks him up.
He went him off with the king, $5,000 in gold, and the other and took him up on it. There, what did I tell you?
Who were they, Billy? You know?
No, sir. It was dark and I didn't recognize their voices. They was already there when I woke up and they left right after that.
Well, maybe it was just some kind of a joke.
Oh, it didn't sound that way to me. No, sir, it's no joke, Mr. Dillon. I told you, I tell you. There's somebody in this room right now, somebody who's been hired to kill you.
But who?
I don't know. Can you figure who's going to do such a thing, Mr. Dillon?
Yeah, I can figure a dozen or two, Chester.
Well, if
Chester, look, as far as Dodge City is concerned, I'm the law. There are plenty of men here who'd think they'd do better without any law. I guess it's nothing personal.
You know, personal or not, it's got me jumping sideways up my own shadow.
Oh, here we are. Come on.
I still say hello. Got that detective snooping around him. What does he do? Locks him up.
Well,
Got the power.
Marshal?
Well,
You did the robbery last month.
Attempted robbery, Mr. Green.
Yeah, so it was, thanks to you. Mr. Dillon, bank's at your service. What can I do for you?
Give me some information, if you will.
It isn't confidential.
It is. I want it anyway.
Hard to know what to say. Perhaps you better step on my office. This way, gentlemen.
Thank you.
After you, Mr. Green.
Now, just what was it you wanted to know?
I want to know whether one of your customers has drawn $5,000 in gold in the last few days.
Any particular person in mind?
Now that's what I want to find out.
Well, I hope this won't go any farther, Marshal.
Somebody did. Who was it, Mr. Green?
I certainly need to make clear that I don't approve of that man, but after all, he is a good customer. It's not like...
Yeah, I know. Who was it?
Lawson Hale.
What? Lawson Hale?
Yeah, he took the gold out just this morning, as a matter of fact.
Useful?
Said he was working on a cattle deal of some sort.
Figures all right. He's tried to move in on this town ever since he came here. Every time he's tried, I've stopped him.
I do hope you'll regard this as confidential.
Yeah, sure. Well, Chester, we know who one of them is now.
Yeah, but who's the other, Mr. Dillon? The one who's actually going to do it.
Some punk who wants $5,000 real bad and doesn't care how much he has to do to get it.
That sure doesn't narrow it down any.
Yeah, I know.
Sure quiet tonight, Mr. Dillon.
Yeah?
Not many people out.
No, not many.
The moon is throwing quite a bit of light.
Yeah, I guess it is.
Kindly makes a target out of a man.
Yeah, kind of.
If somebody was out to shoot somebody, this would sure be a good night for somebody to do it.
I suppose so.
Mr. Dillon.
Hmm?
Do you mind if I make a comment?
Well, I thought that's what you were doing.
Let's go on back to the jail and stay off the street. This way you're just asking for it.
Chester, if it's going to come, it's going to come. I'd rather meet it halfway than to sit and wait for it.
Asking for it, that's what you're doing.
It's been 2 days now. It gets on your nerves. When you go out to bring a man in, you know you may have trouble and you're ready for it. But this way, not knowing who or when or where or...
Yes, sir,
Well,
I understand, Mr. Dillon. It kindly bothers a man.
Yeah. Let's walk down the Texas Trail.
Good to see you, man. You've been avoiding us the last couple of days.
Busy, Kitty.
Something bothering you, Matt?
Bothering me?
Yeah.
Whatever give you an idea like that,
Mr. Dillon?
What is it, Chester?
Lawson Hale just come in. He's down the bar there.
Oh, yeah. Maybe ought to have a talk with him.
Well, that's one way.
That's the one I haven't tried yet. Excuse us, will you please, Kitty?
Well, sure, Matt. Well, whatever it is, be careful.
That lane was wide open. Yeah. I had it right in the palm of my hand. Yeah, so? The minute the trail driver hit town, the boys would grab their pay and they'd head straight.
Something I can do for you? Yeah, I want to talk to you, Mr. Hale. Well, I don't see anything stopping you. But we'll move down the bar a ways if you don't mind. It's kind of private.
Sorry, Marshal. I'm fine right here.
I said we'll move down the bar.
If it's that important. Pardon me, boys. The Marshal's all head up. Oh, sure.
Far enough? Yeah, it's far enough. Lawson, I understand you've hired yourself a gunman. Sent him out to get me. Offered him $5,000 in gold.
I don't know what you're talking about, Dillon.
Wouldn't care to tell me his name?
No, I don't think so. You see, I don't know anything about it.
What's he waiting for? He's had 2 days.
Like I said, Dillon.
Why don't you do it, Chelsea? You're wearing a gun. Maybe save yourself some money.
I've got no quarrel with you.
You mean you're yellow? Scared to call your own play.
I said I've
You're
got
a weaseling, no-good coward, Hale.
I'll let it ride for the time being.
Yeah, I thought you would. Come on, Chester.
Yes, sir.
Let's go get some fresh air.
guess he's just not the kind to take chances, Mr. Dillon.
Not when he's got a hired killer out prowling somewhere. Chester, I'm going to run him out of Dodge if it's the last thing I ever do.
Dodge can stand it.
I only knew who he'd hired. Then I could force the play myself. This blasted business of having to leave it up to the other man. Waiting there.
Over there by the stable.
Yeah, I saw the flash.
Fucking down!
I don't know. Let's move in and find out. Watch yourself, Chester. You may be playing possum.
Flash was right here by the corner.
Yeah. Well, that's that.
He got away, Mr. Dillon.
Yeah, he's gone.
Took one shot and then ran for cover.
He'll be back.
We will return for the second act of Gunsmoke in just a moment. But first, every Sunday afternoon, Robert Cross with the World News brings you up to the minute on CBS Radio. A special feature on this program every Sunday is a flying visit from one of our noted overseas news correspondents. Remember, tomorrow, for well-rounded views of the news at home and everywhere, don't miss Robert Cross with the news of the world on most of these same CBS radio stations. And now for the second act of Gunsmoke.
Goodness, my cold's far a little better tonight, Mr. Dillon. My, that fire sure feels good. Yes, sir, the old jail seems kind of cold when a man's ailing like I am. Anyway, it's sure a lot better than prowling those streets waiting for somebody to put a bullet in the back of your neck.
Stop squeaking the chair.
Well, sorry, Mr. Dillon. Yell at me like that, too, you're not feeling.
Two more days. Let me have them move.
Yes, sir. That cottonwood sure burns up fast. I guess I better shake down the stove, throw another chunk of wood.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. There might be a way at that, Chester. Loss in the hail. That's the only fact we're sure of. Loss in the hail.
Kind of hard to prove anything, Mr. Dillon.
Who said anything about proving it? I got an idea. Come on.
Which one will we try first, Mr. Dillon?
The Texas Trail, I guess. He'll either be there or it's a Longhorn.
All right, Mr. Dillon. What you gonna do?
Gonna arrest him, since he won't fight. We saw him back down the other night.
Yes, but you got no evidence. Mr. Dillon, you can't make it stick.
I don't intend to, Chester.
Oh, and I don't see what...
What I can do is scare him. And if I figure him right, I think he's gonna scare easy.
Maybe so, but all the
Ah,
same...
look. Look, there he is, Chester. Just came out of the Longhorn.
Couple of fellas with him, Mr. Dillon. You don't suppose one of them could be...
No, they're hanging around for the free drinks. There's not an ounce of nerve in the 3 dozen of them. Come on, let's take him.
Yes.
The whole herd.
Hale? Yeah? Hold it, just right where you are. What seems to be the trouble now, Marshal? No trouble. Unless you want to make some. You're under arrest. What for? something later. Stick out your hand.
Whoa. You're taking me in without even making a charge? I'll remind you there's witnesses here.
Yeah, so I noticed. When they're not hanging around you, they're around somebody else. What have you done, Hale? Hired them, too?
I asked you what the charge was, Marshal.
Vagrancy.
Vagrancy?
As far as I know, you've never had any visible means of support as long as you've been in Dodge.
I'll match any dollar of yours with 100 better ones.
Well, that's fine. That'll help pass the time. Now, stick out your hand.
Oh, look here, Marshal.
Shut up.
Think you...
All right, Chester, put the cuff on.
Where's old Dillon? What? Dillon, I'll break you, but...
It's been tried before. All right, boys, break it up. The party's over. You've had your last drink out of this pump. All right, Shule, let's go to jail. Keep walking, Hale. The last cell on the left.
I'll break you, Dillon. So help me.
Well, you've been trying it for a year. Still around.
You won't be after this. I'll take this up.
Hold up. Let Chester get the door.
I've almost forgot which pieces. There we are. Hey. I'm living in the best room in the commercial.
Inside, Hale. Now go on, move. Now stick your hands up. You won't need those cuffs in here. All right. Make yourself at home. Shut the door.
Dillon, you've got nothing to hold me up. I'll be out of here by tomorrow, too.
Oh, I doubt that. In fact, there's a pretty good chance you'll never get out of this stuff. Not alive, at least.
Talking about... But, according to the law, you've got a right.
The law, huh? You've broken it every chance you've got. Tried to break them into service like you tried to do with me, for instance. When your own neck gets caught, you start hiding behind the law.
Nevertheless...
All right, fine. Right now, the law out here is kind of sketchy. Some things it covers, some things it doesn't. That's where I come in. This little affair between you and me is one of the things the law doesn't quite cover. So I'm going to run it my way.
That kind of talk won't help you any.
You hired a man to kill me. Offered him $5,000 to get me out of the way.
Can't prove that.
He's made one try and he's missed. He's still around Dodge. Somewhere waiting, and he's going to try again. But I don't know who he is. So all the odds are with him.
That is your problem, Dillon, not mine. I don't know anything about that.
You know what'll happen, though, if he does get me. The first thing Chester's going to do is come straight back here to the jail and pump a couple of bullets through these bars here.
Huh?
Your boy may kill me, Hale, but you're not going to live to profit by it.
Oh, he wouldn't do it. Shoot down a helpless... Oh, neither one of you would do it.
Chester and I have been friends for a long time. Why don't you ask him whether he'd do it or not?
No question about it, Mr. Dillon. Of course I'd do it.
Oh, no, you wouldn't.
Well, you hired somebody to shoot Mr. Dillon in the back. I don't see where you got any kick coming.
Well, there's your answer, Mr. Hale. That's why I arrested you. Come on, Chester. Let's go look the town over.
Got it.
No, it's tonight that he's going.
Who's gonna do what?
Keep in mind that you can do that.
I don't know, Marshal. I don't know anything about it.
No, that's too bad.
Don't have the key.
If I knew his name, I'd
No way
have a
to
lot
pick
better
this.
chance, you know. So would you. Well, we'll see you later, Hale. Or anyway, Chester will.
No, Dillon, you can't do it. You don't go up. He'll get you, sure. Dillon, no, wait. I'll tell you his name.
All right.
He's a trail driver. Came up from the Pecos last week. I doubt if you know him. His name is Ed Granger.
Ed Granger?
Yeah, I've seen him around the bars. Dark-haired, surly-looking,
I got a question.
scar across his cheek.
Why the
That's
hell would
it.
anyone build a vault?
Of course, I'll deny all of this in court, you understand?
Yeah, sure, I understand.
Airtight, because they weren't planning to
Come on,
use it.
Chester, let's go get him.
Some job you don't know.
Look, he's here all right, Mr. Dillon. Over there by the pine.
Yeah. Looks like he's by himself.
What you gonna do? Arrest him?
Well, there's no evidence, Chester. The way I see it, make it personal.
Yes.
I want you to stay out of it, Chester. Just cover me.
Whatever you say, Mr. Dillon.
Your name, Ed Granger?
I'd be.
What about it? You know who I am, don't you?
Judging by the star, I reckon you're a U.S. Marshal.
You ought to do better than that. After all, I'm worth $5,000 to you.
Yes, sure. Who says so?
Lawson Hale.
What?
Your memory's getting better, huh?
I don't know what you're talking about, Marshal.
Sure you do. That deal you made with Hale. You told me all about it after I threw him in jail and persuaded him of it.
I told you, I don't know anything.
You're wearing a gun there, Granger. What's your draw? We'll go for $5,000. Take a chance.
This fella you're talking about's in jail. I reckon he wouldn't have anybody working for him now, would he?
You tell me.
I've got no reason to draw on you, Marshal.
Not unless my back's turned. I think you're as yellow as Hale is.
Won't do you any good. I ain't drawn.
You tried to kill me when I last, Granger.
Can you prove that?
If I could, you'd either be in jail or you'd be dead.
Well, since you can't prove it, what's the argument?
Just I don't like the idea of someone trying to shoot me in the back. If you're any man at all, we'll settle this here and now.
Now, leave me alone, Marshal. I haven't done anything.
You still figure you got no reason to draw on me?
No reason. I ain't drawing.
You got 10 minutes to get out of town. And when you're out, stay out. Don't come back now or ever, you understand?
Yes, sir.
You can start right now.
Must be nearly midnight, Mr. Dillon.
Yeah, about that, I guess.
This is sure one day I'm glad is over.
Yeah, so am I. At least I can breathe a little easier now.
I think I'll get this fire built up a little bit, Mr. Dillon.
No, leave it, Chester. Let's go take care of our prisoner first. Huh?
Hey, we still haven't got any evidence. What are we going to do about him?
Same as with Granger. Turn him loose and run him out of town. They should have done it months ago. You got the key?
Yes, sir. Right here, Monk. Mr. Dillon?
Huh? What are you looking at?
Over here. Money dropped there.
Granger must have stopped by here on his way out of town.
Wait, something's out there.
He must have got Hale over the window for a talk. And grabbed him. Cut his throat right there.
Yeah. Figured Hale had sold him out here. Got a bulletin on the wire, Chester. Wanted for murder, Ed Granger.
All right, Mr. Dillon.
I guess Hale got pretty much what he bargained for. He hired himself a killer in order to kill him. He got it.
Gunsmoke, under the direction of Norman MacDonald, stars William Conrad as Matt Dillon, U.S. Marshal. Tonight's story was specially written for Gunsmoke by Les Crutchfield. with music composed and conducted by Rex Corey. Featured in the cast were Harry Bartell, Lawrence Dobkin, Jack Crucian, and Ralph Moody. Parley Bear is Chester, and Georgia Ellis is Kitty. Gunsmoke is heard by our troops overseas through the facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. Join us again next week as Matt Dillon, U.S. Marshal, fights to bring law and order out of the wild violence of the West in Gunsmoke.
Don't give me that crap, Valentine. You know nothing. You got nothing. Really? I saw him writing your name down in that black book of his.
Like Old Man River, the comedy just keeps rolling along every Sunday night when CBS Radio presents Amos and Andy. Tomorrow night, over most of these same CBS radio stations, Kingfish is sure to be up to his usual monkey business. And it's sure to make a monkey out of gullible Andy Brown. Listen for yourself. Don't let one single minute of the fun get away. Tomorrow and every Sunday night, it's Amos and Andy on CBS Radio. This is Roy Rowan speaking. And remember, Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy open fire on your funny bone every Sunday night on the CBS Radio Network.
Someone, but it's complicated. I don't exactly know where they could be.
Well, I've done jobs with less. Somehow nice and simple. Never
Let's
makes
join
it on
Dan
the
McCullough
menu
and his
of my
pal
work.
Eddie.
Say, Dan, I've got an idea.
Yeah?
You remember the old game where I
Turns
think
out
of
the
something and then you
runaway
ask me
daughter I
questions
came
and
here
guess
to
what it
find
is?
Sure, Eddie, why?
Well, let's play that game.
Skinny
Only
Malone's
let's make it
new
about those
flame.
insignia and warplane buttons I'm collecting.
Got
The
on
ones from
me.
packages of Kellogg's Pep.
Anyway,
Okay,
got
you want to
troubles?
start?
All right.
Glad to help.
I'm thinking of something
Now
that's
ain't the time.
red
Let's blow this
and blue
joint.
and
Then
yellow
we'll talk.
and black and white.
Oh, that's one of those insignia buttons, all right, with all those colors. Bingo. Let's see, is it a picture of a bird?
Nope.
A bomb?
No.
An animal?
Well, yeah, an animal.
Well, that gives me something to start on. Now, is it one of the second series of buttons?
Right.
Let's see, an animal. Is it a bear?
Nope.
Hey, this is getting tough. A dog?
Guess again.
I know, a tiger.
Oh, you guessed it. But I'll bet you can't tell me which squadron that insignia belongs to.
Oh, that's easy, Eddie. It's Marine Fighter Squadron VMF 224. And like the other buttons in this swell second series, it's a honey. Clear, brilliant colors, sharp outlines, why, you can even see the tough expression in the tiger's eyes. And the rings around his tail. He's all dressed up, too, with a cap and a sweat jersey and boxing gloves. Yes, sir, these insignia buttons are just about the classiest-looking things you ever saw. And they're so easy to get. You don't send in any money, not even a box stop. And you can't buy them anywhere. You just make sure Mother gets you a package of that super delicious whole wheat flake cereal, Kellogg's Pep. Then, inside you'll find a prize, an exciting insignia or warplane button. There's a button in every package, and it's a prize for you from P.E.P. Pep, made by Kellogg's of Battle Creek. Next time it's too rainy for you to be out of doors, here's an idea for what to do. Get out your collection of insignia and warplane buttons from packages of Kellogg's Pep, and see how close you are to having all the buttons in both the first and the second series. Why, you'll probably make up your mind to eat more of that super delicious whole wheat flake cereal so you can get more prizes. Then you might see how many of those insignia you can identify, like Marine Bombing Squadron 433, for example. You can remember that with a red dragon with two tails, riding a bomb, and firing a machine gun. By the time you get through, you'll be mighty proud of your collection, believe me. Because, you see, these buttons really are smart-looking. The colors are clear and bright and sharp, really stand out against the sparkling white background. And they're made of metal, so they'll last indefinitely. Now, if anyone should ask you how you got those swell buttons, tell them it's easy. You don't send in a single penny. No, sir, not even a box top. And you don't buy them. You just ask Mom to get a package or two of Kellogg's Pep. Then look inside for your exciting prize, a brilliant insignia or warplane button. There's a button in every package of P.E.P. Pep, made by Kellogg's of Battle Tree.
Hello, everybody. Hello. Hello is the shampoo that glorifies your hair. So hello, everybody. Hello. For softer, lively curls and brighter, sparkling hair. So hello, everybody. Hello. Hello, shampoo. Hello.
Billy Brown, the smoothest, coolest guy in town. The chicks all seem to dig his jive. Hey, tell us, Bill, how can we arrive? It's easy, Jack. Any gal gets set when you flash a smile by Pepsodent. You'll wonder where the yellow went when you brush your teeth with Pepsodent.
Pepsodent's new improved formula cleans teeth whiter than ever. Tastes brighter, too. New formula Pepsodent contains IMP. There's nothing else as good at getting teeth white.
You'll wonder where the yellow went when you brush your teeth with Pepsodent.
Around Dodge City and in the territory on west, there's just one way to handle the killers and the spoilers, and that's with a U.S. Marshal and the smell of gun smoke. Gunsmoke, starring William Conrad. The story of the violence that moved west with young America. The story of a man who moved with it. Matt Dillon, United States Marshal.
This door's on the fritz. Let me see if I can get it open. There we go. Hell of a lot easier to do than the other side.
Jeannie, what's the matter?
What the?
Good morning, Miss.
Good morning, Dad. I got to talk to
You have to excuse me. I can't be puttering around the office all day.
Hell yeah.
I just saw him. He came in on the morning train.
One way to get those cool.
You mean Ed Beaudry?
It's been 4 years, man. I've begun to hope he'd forget. Hope he wouldn't find it.
What you've told me, Beaudry, doesn't sound like a man who ever...
You come here looking for Bertie. Kelly needs Corey. That's what I'm going to do.
Bert?
Matt, you've got to help me. You're the only real friend we have.
Take it easy. Word. All right, just to maintain law and order, and just my job. Doesn't leave much leeway to mix in on.
There's no quarrel. It's just that Ed Beaudry's a hot-tempered fool. Bert never did anything to him.
Married you.
A woman has a right to change her mind.
Maybe Beaudry doesn't think so.
Matt, you promised me once in Louisville.
Yeah.
Stairs?
Yeah.
This damn fall. The
All right,
fitness
Jeannie.
instructor?
Don't say anything. I'll talk to Beaudry.
I'll never forget it.
Do you have a
better run over to the Texas Trail, Chester. There's a fellow in town planning to kill him.
Skinny Malone and the rest of his boys are waiting for us.
Matt, it's been a long time.
How you, Kitty?
Hello, Chester.
Miss Kitty?
He's dangerous.
Come sit down, Matt. Tell me about things.
I can't right now, Kitty. We're looking for a fellow. Thought he might have come in here.
Sooner or later, they all do. Stranger, Matt?
Yeah. He came in on the morning train. His name's Ed Beaudry.
Oh, him. There, the bar, Matt. Third from the end, next to Tulsa Jim Nixon. He's buying Irish whiskey for everybody.
Thank you, Kitty. Come on, Chester. Yes, sir.
Watch yourself, Matt.
Yeah, sure, Kitty. I'll see you later.
All right, bartender, set up another round of Jameson's for the house.
Your name, Beaudry?
That's right, mister.
Matt Dillon. I'm a U.S. Marshal here.
But I hear big footsteps.
Fine, go ahead and talk.
Once we step through this door, get ready
Tulsa,
for anything.
suppose you'll move on down the bar for a couple of minutes, huh?
Oh, what's the idea, Marshal? This man's a friend of mine.
You're not very particular about your friends. Now go on, Tulsa. Drift. Mr. Beaudry, you came here to kill Bert Wells, didn't you?
Did I?
Well, here's some advice. Don't do it. Take the next train and get out of town.
Is that official?
What are you
What's
doing?
the charge, Marshal?
Come into my
None.
house, shoot up my guys? You have
Murder,
any
if you
idea?
go through it.
Not the way I understand it. Murder's one thing. Calling a man in a fair fight, that's another thing.
Beaudry, I'm the law here in Dodge, and I don't see it as a fair fight. Bert's a blacksmith, and he's not used to handling a gun. You are.
Idea how much this is gonna set me back?
I
told
wouldn't
you,
be
Marshal?
here
I
if
don't
it
know
weren't for your
anybody here.
two-timing dame, Skinny.
Dillon?
You ought to tell her to write home more often.
Yeah. I heard Jeannie mention you.
Ashamed you got
You
beat
knew
up
her
by
back
a
in
girl.
Louisville before she
I'll just
ran
run
off.
back
We'll leave
home
her
to
out of
death.
this, Beaudry.
So that's it.
Should have left it
This
alone.
isn't official. You're just
This
doing
ain't
a
the old
personal
neighborhood.
favor for an old
In
friend.
this vault, I'm
Probably
king of the
a very
castle. You hear
close
me?
friend.
And I ain't letting some
Jeannie
drunk
always did have a
shut
weak-
us
I
down
warned
now
you
that I
once.
finally got a bingo.
I told you we should have just
All right, hold it.
Then you had to get all
Now
sentimental.
get up, Beaudry.
All that stupid crap about the old times.
Darla, I'm handling this. Skinny Malone's always got things
was a
under
mistake.
Oh, yeah? Then what's this guy doing here?
Now I'll have to kill
Valentine
you,
must have
too.
brought him
I'm
here
not
to
a
rub us all
blacksmith,
out.
Beaudry. I'll look you up just soon as I've finished with Bert Wells. If you kill Bert, you won't have to look me.
Darla, listen. You have a home to go back to. You don't want to throw your life away with these thugs.
Don't you try to confuse me! Get him, Skinny!
Good, Matt. Ed Beaudry's in town.
Beaudry?
I wouldn't be here if it weren't for your two-timing
Well,
dame.
it was bound to happen sometime.
Tell her to write home.
Has he been bothering Jeannie?
No, she just had to train this morning.
Not your problem.
Maybe it is, Bert. The law doesn't like the idea of personal grudges and letting me kill him.
What are you able to do?
Prevent it if I can.
Well, I wish you luck.
You haven't worn that gun for 2 years, Bert. When I start now.
Got no choice, man.
You mean you got no chance? If you let Beaudry call a showdown, he'll kill you.
Maybe.
Look, Bert, why don't you take the prairie hole up for a week or so while I figure some way of running Beaudry out of town, huh?
Would you do it, Matt? Hide out and let somebody else do your fighting for you?
Well, what I'd
That's
do is...
beside the point, Bert.
Jeannie.
There's a law against killing. It's Matt's job to enforce it. If you went away, there wouldn't be any fight.
Wouldn't be much honor either, Jeannie. Man can't run, still call himself a man.
You can run from a mad dog. And that's what Ed Beaudry is. He never had any claim on me.
Yes, he thought he did. Matt, you know where Beaudry stands?
And talk to him at the Texas Trail. He's upstairs.
Like to walk over there with me?
That's the way you want it.
No, Bert,
back, Bert. Afraid not, Matt.
Let's get
Should have
out.
headed out with Baudry
The
back there in
service ladder
Kentucky
should
5
take us right
years
to the
ago.
surface.
Jeannie wanted to run away and avoid trouble. She was so beautiful, it was hard to argue with her.
Yeah, I know. Be hard on her if anything happened to you.
Life's always hard on a woman, I guess. It's worse out here on the prairie. Look out for her, Matt, in case when I meet her finish.
Mr. Dillon? Huh? Oh, what is it, Chester?
Baldry left the saloon a little while ago. Went over to the livery stable to hire a horse. I think he's riding out to your place, Mr. Wells. He's been doing a lot of talking.
Jeannie will be there alone, Matt. I better get back home.
Won't be necessary. Here comes Baudry now.
I won't draw unless he does.
Heads up, Chester. Yes, sir.
Just riding out to call on you, Wells. I decided you'd had plenty of time to look me up.
No reason to, Baudry.
Most men would figure they had reason. Somebody been in a local saloon, telling their wife's history.
Baudry, you... All right, hold it. Don't draw, Bert. Chester, cover Baudry.
Look at that Commonwealth. Never thought anything so naturally ominous.
fast
and
with that
looking
gun,
so
Dillon.
inviting. Thanks for getting
Fast
me out.
enough, Mr.
You make a good
How did you know where to
bodyguard.
find me anyway?
Too
How
bad
many
you
people
can't
knew where
ride
I
her
went?
24 hours a day.
I told you what to
Your
expect
secretary,
if you
Ellie,
keep pushing
she
this
sent
thing,
me.
Mr.
She did.
Baudry. Now use some sense
give
and
her
get
a
out of
raise.
town while you're
Now,
still
you
alive.
mentioned
I've been in
something
lots
about a
of
missing
towns, Dillon.
person.
I left 'em
No
all
trace
alive.
of where they've gone. I want you to come to my office in
Well,
Diamond City. Give me all the
I've been
details.
planning to kill
Besides,
you
I think
for
you've earned a
5
chance to
years.
sit down and clear your head.
Plans don't always work out.
Listen, Will. You got till
Lead the way,
sundown.
Nick.
All right, let's move fast.
After that, I'm
Follow
gonna
me.
shoot you on sight.
All right, Mr. Baudry, if you've finished speaking your piece, move along.
See you later.
Well, still a couple of hours before sundown. I'd like to spend some
These old buildings and
Yeah,
alleyways
sure.
give you a lot
Goodbye,
of
Bert.
opportunities to hide if things get bad.
Who's that?
That goes both ways. Always keep your eyes out. Head on a swivel.
Can't see anything spelled in there.
I can't either.
Why don't you relax, Matt? You're nervous as a cat.
Yeah, now stay nervous, Kitty, until I find out what's happened to those two.
Baudry slipped out the back way just at dusk. Piano player saw him.
Yeah. Bert pulled the same trick. I had a couple of boys watching the blacksmith shop, but he managed to give them a slip.
There's nothing you can do now, Matt.
Well,
Another killing. And you in the middle again. Why, Matt? What do you do?
it's a job, Kitty. Somebody's got to do it.
But why you? There are other things in life if you look around for them.
Well, maybe I will someday.
Will you look my way, Matt?
Well, Matt, I brought the kid. All prepared. Where are the victims?
No victims yet, Doc. You're jumping the gun.
And I understand it's going to be a real showdown. The boys at the bar are off to one on Baudry.
That's about the odds I figured. Chester, what are you doing in here? I told you to watch that street.
Yes, sir, I know you did.
The fight's as likely to start out there as any place else.
No, sir, Mr. Dillon. I guess there's not going to be any fight.
What?
They just found Baudry lying in an alley down the block.
Matt.
Somebody sneaked up behind him with a hammer. He's sure dead.
Getting me out. How did you know where to find me?
return for the second
Your
act of
secretary, Ellie,
Gunsmoke
she
in
sent
just a
me.
moment.
She did.
But first,
I should give
what
her
is
a
the
raise.
connection between
Now,
the
you
statue
mentioned
in the
something
square
about
and a
a
pair of
missing
thugs
cousin.
who are
I want you to
definitely
come to
not
my
on
office
the
in
square
Diamond
with
City.
the law?
Give me all the
Tonight on
details.
Gangbusters, hear the
Besides,
complete
I think
details
you're
of
going
this
to chance to
exciting
sit down
case
and clear
taken
your
from
head.
actual police files. Remember, it's Gangbusters later
I'll meet you
tonight
there.
on most
See
of
you in
these
Diamond
same
City.
CBS radio stations. Don't miss it. Now, the second act of Gunsmoke.
Shooting around the house, Mr. Dillon.
Not the shop either. He might have skipped out.
What about his wife, though?
I don't know, Chester. I can't figure any of this. It's not like Bert, full of sneak and trick.
Hold it. No move.
He's dropping at night. Diamond City Sun.
Bert,
Who's that?
Matt. Chester's with me.
Are you here?
You better put away the gun.
Matt.
Oh, God.
I thought it was somebody else.
Well, it's hard to mistake this mug
Who,
for anyone else.
You keep
You
rolling
know
with
who,
Dad.
Beaudry, of course.
Someday, Death's gonna laugh back.
Guess I
Not
better
as
take
long
your
as
gun.
I got a few friends.
Official, Matt?
Yeah.
You
Official.
saved Nick, this agency,
Well, I
and
got
my
those
job.
balls along.
Thank you.
Here.
Thank you.
Hey, happy to do it.
Yeah?
Now, why did you do it?
Go diving into
What do you mean?
scary
If it had
pre-war
been a
ruins all
gunfight,
the
the
time
law
then,
couldn't
do
have
you?
touched you.
Here.
The circumstances are all in your favor.
When you went out
This
to
way
find
they'll
him,
call
but
it murder, and they'll be
you
right, because that's what it
deserve the
was.
reward.
Matt, what are you
Plus,
talking
it was
about?
No use. You left the hammer
No.
lying right beside his
If you're
body.
looking for work and don't mind
Got your
putting on a
shop
detective
brand
hat,
carved in the handle.
Nick
Whose
sure
body
could use
you
a
talking
partner.
about?
Whoa. One case at a time, Ellie.
Beaudry?
Yeah,
Your friend
sure,
needs our
Beaudry.
help first.
Matt, you're making a
All right,
mistake.
let's get down to business.
I went looking
Take a
for
seat.
Beaudry, yes, but I didn't find him. Then I come back here. I was afraid to leave Jeannie there in the house alone.
You're trying to find someone.
I didn't do it, Matt. You're wrong.
It's not up to me,
Devil's in
Bert. It's the
details.
court's job. All I can do is
Tell me
take you in.
everything
The
you
evidence
can.
is too strong, and I got no choice.
No choice.
It might be.
I didn't have a choice either. We must have had a choice somewhere back down the line.
There was a man and a woman.
When?
They didn't say much.
Where was it? We could have stopped
But I
and
remember
turned
they
back.
called me
I'm a marshal, not a
backup.
philosopher.
So we're talking a
What
small
about
team.
Jeannie? I
Professional.
gotta tell her.
Chester will take
I
care of
know
it.
to keep
Better
their
you
lips
do it,
tight
Matt. You're a
on
friend.
the job. Not
That'd
sure
make it
what
easy.
the...
I'd rather not if you don't mind. Now, come on, let's go.
What else can you tell me?
We're looking for my son, Sean. He's less than a year old. Why would anyone take him?
Good question. Why your family in particular? Why an infant? Who would be taking on all of his care?
All right, Bert,
He
step
needs a lot
inside.
of it. Now, that
4
confirms it.
years we've been
This
friends.
isn't a random kidnapping.
I never
Whoever
thought
took
it would
your
come to
kid
this.
had an agenda.
Neither did I.
A lot of
You
groups
said
in
you
the
didn't find
Commonwealth
any
would
money
take
on him.
raiders,
It could have been robbery.
super
You're made to look
mutants,
like robbery.
gunners.
Either way, there's nothing I can do. Now, you better step inside.
So you think this institute is responsible?
Well, they're the boogeymen of the Commonwealth. Something goes wrong, everyone blames them.
I'll,
Easy to see why.
bring you some blankets
Those
and
early
tobacco.
model
If you want
synths
anything
up
else,
there
let me
stripped
know.
whole towns for parts,
Wish I knew
killing
how
everything
Jeannie
in their
was
way.
taking it.
Then you got the newer models.
You'll be
built
all
as
right.
Human, infiltrate cities
fine
and
girl.
pull strings
Matt.
from the shadows. Worst of all,
Matt,
no
look
one
out
knows
for 'em,
why
will
they
you?
do it, what their plan is.
Bert, a man's
where they
job
are.
is one
Not
thing,
even
friendship's
me.
another.
I'm a synth
This
myself.
prairie country is rough and
It's got
tough
a
and
prototype
wild at the
anyway.
best. And without the law, nobody could survive in it. And that means putting friendship
You're a
aside
prototype?
sometimes.
As far as I know, never seen any other synth like myself. There's the older ones that are
man's
dumb
still
as
doesn't
rocks
forget.
and all metal, and there's the newer ones that are almost human. I'm somewhere
I'll
in
look out for
between.
it.
Thanks, Matt.
I'll see you later.
You don't know anything about them? Really?
Some kind of security setting strips or blocks out those memories. It's not just me. Any synth that gets trashed, left behind, or escapes the Institute has the same problem.
Absolutely dead.
There's some kind of
I
fail-safe.
never saw anybody in a dead end. Blacksmith hammer makes a mighty fine weapon.
Either way,
At least we're
I
sneaking
need to
up on
find
him.
Sean.
I can't figure Bert doing
Speculation's
that's
getting
not
us
like
off
him.
track.
Sometimes a man
Let's
changes
focus
under
on what you
pressure.
saw. What did these kidnappers look like?
I can't figure it either.
What would you say his chances are?
Bad.
The woman was dressed in, I think it was a kind of hazard suit.
Straw stack.
The man had
That's a good question.
some sort of metal brace on his arm.
Maybe some kind of improvised armor? A lot of hired guns.
What do you mean?
I just come from Texas Trail a while ago, and some of the boys are kind of riled up. They're
Many
talking
mercs can
real
afford
loose.
something
The
that
law against
fancy.
talking.
What else do you
Now
remember
that
about
they
them?
aim to leave it a talking, Matt. They
One of
figure
them
the
came right up
evidence
to
is a little on the weak side. A
Bald
court
head,
might turn Bert loose.
scar across his left
So
eye.
they're saying it's up to them.
Yeah, they're just mad because they've lost their source of
You
free
didn't
drink.
hear
Well,
the name
maybe so,
Kellogg
but-
at all, did you?
You better keep your eyes open, Matt.
Yeah, I know that fact, Doc.
Who
They
is
hunt
he?
in the dark and pull down
Do you think he has
stragglers.
Sean?
Mostly they just talk.
Way too big of a
worry.
coincidence. Ellie, what notes do we
Bert's
have
in
about the
jail.
Kellogg case?
The description matches.
Where he's gonna
Bald
stay.
head, scar, reputation for dangerous mercenary work, but no one knows who his employer is.
He bought a house here in town, right? He had a kid with him, didn't he?
Yeah, that's right. The house in the abandoned West Stands. The boy with him was around 10 years old.
Matt? Matt, are you here?
Maybe it's another kidnapped kid.
Yeah, either that or he's got a son of his own.
Wait a minute, I'll light
Not a comforting thought in any case. Both of them vanished a while ago. Haven't been heard or seen since. Let's you and I take a walk over to Kellogg's last known address.
Yeah, just thinking.
See if we can snoop out where he went.
Security doesn't really
You
go to
shouldn't
that
have
part of
come
town,
here,
but
Yeah, I don't want
you
to see
two
Bert.
should
No
still be
visitors
careful.
after dark.
Always am.
Jail rule.
Rules don't have to be enforced.
Mine do. Bert's a prisoner, same as any other prisoner. He's charged with murder.
He didn't do it, Matt.
It's not for me to say.
But you know he didn't. You know, Bert, you know he wouldn't do a thing like that. Sneak up behind a man's back in the dark.
I'm not the court, Jeannie.
I know. And they'll believe he did it.
Yeah, the night train's coming in. Hope it's not bringing in trouble.
The morning train did. Matt, I want to see Bert.
I told you that you... Give me the gun.
No. I warn you, Matt, stay
Give
back.
me the gun.
No, Matt. So help me,
I
I'll...
said hand it over.
You knew I wouldn't shoot.
Yeah. Now, what did you hope to gain by
I
that?
don't know. Get Bert out. Maybe I don't know. None of this is his
Didn't
fault.
want
Something's
Ellie to
got
hear
to be
this.
done.
I think you should know.
Matt, you've got to help me.
Yeah, what is it, Chester?
More than just a
Trail, I
mercenary.
think there's going to be some trouble.
Professional.
The bunch that hangs out around there are doing a lot of drinking and
thorough.
talking up the idea of
Has no
coming over here to the jail.
Oh, no.
Well, maybe we ought to go over there and do some talking ourselves. Jeannie, I think
9
the
to 1
best thing for you to
odds
do is
says
to go
he's
back
our
home and
man.
stay there till morning.
More than just
No,
you identifying
don't
his
worry about
distinguishing
this.
features. The
Nothing's
MO
gonna
is all him
But,
as
Matt,
well.
you can't handle that
Leading a
crowd
small
alone.
team
Been
to
handling
kidnap a
things
baby
alone
and
for a
leaving
long
one of the parents alive for later.
All right,
Not many mercs in the Commonwealth can pull that off.
Tulsa Jim Nixon's the one who's been egging them on, Mr. Dillon. Over there at the end of the bar.
Yeah, he
Keep an
struck
eye
up an
out, will you?
acquaintance with Beaudry when he first got off the train. Guess he figures he's an old partner by now. Now, come on.
Yes, one heck of a lot. Something to hide.
Matt, wait.
Give it a
Later, Kitty, I got some business for the boys at the bar.
That's what I mean.
No way I
Tulsa
could pick
Jim's been
this.
buying them drinks for the last 2 hours. They're in a real nasty mood.
So,
Nick.
So be careful, Matt.
Can't get
That's
through
all.
that
Just
door.
be careful.
Kitty, I'm the carefulest man you know.
Lock, ain't it? I'll stay here and see if I can jimmy this lock.
We got the law here in Dodge. Supposedly. But what kind of a law is it that lets a man sneak up behind somebody in the dark and murder him in cold blood?
I don't know, Tulsa. Suppose you tell me. Dillon. Now, don't let me interrupt you. You were doing fine. Well, this is quite an audience you got. All the panhandlers, bums, and barflies in Dodge. It's quite a collection.
Well, calling names won't change the facts, Dillon.
What facts?
A friend of yours, Bert Wells, sneaking cowardly murderer.
That's for the court to decide, Tulsa.
The court. They'll turn him loose. They work hand in glove with you. Dillon, we're not going to stand for it.
All right, shut up. You're not going to stand for it.
Find out in due time,
I said I was with the Institute, he'd come running.
Oh, I tend to set him up again all around.
Attention easier if you use softer
You've
words,
turned
Ellen.
into quite a free
Maybe shout
spender,
a
Tulsa.
little less.
I never knew you to...
Reminds me of this article I'm writing about the mayor's affair with a
Double
certain
Eagle gold
air-headed
piece.
blonde.
Mind if I take a look at it?
Here it is.
It's good. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Where'd you get it?
That's my business, Dillon.
What are you doing here, Piper?
Nuh-uh.
You're the one.
Not until it's in print.
That's a lie.
I thought robbing him was just a cover-up, but it wasn't. There aren't many double eagles around Dodge. Baudry had a lot of them. Now you. Why would you get a pocket full of gold pieces, Tulsa?
Wells killed Baudry. The blacksmith hammer was lying right beside him.
Yes, where you left it.
The mayor's receiving visitors as long as they aren't members of the press. Did you need help?
He had plenty of chance to steal that hammer.
She's lying.
Where did you get the gold, Tulsa?
So I can just head in and talk to McDonough?
Go right
I won it in the
ahead.
poker
His office
game.
is open.
Last
He likes
week
to
when-
make time for
Oh,
everyone
when the
when he
trailhead
can.
was...
Tulsa, you're under arrest for murder.
Got it.
Ah, yes. I remember you.
No, you'll never
You
take
were
me.
right. I wish I was in your shoes, getting to see our glorious city for
All right,
the first
Doc.
time.
You
How
better
can
get
I
up an
help?
inquest.
I'm looking for a key to a
Confounded
house in the
matcher.
city.
You
I
never
assume
give me
the
any
mayor's
chance
office
to
has a
practice
copy.
on live people.
We don't have every
You wouldn't know what
key
to
in
do
the
with
city.
them, Doc.
Where would we put them all?
I do get fewer
Besides,
complaints.
every citizen in my city has a right to their privacy. Now, if we did
Matt,
have
does
a
this
key,
mean that Bert's free?
only the owner
You shouldn't have
can
come
ask
here,
for it.
Jeannie.
That's my final word.
Yeah, he's free. Chester will go with you over to the jail and let him out.
Thank you, Matt.
I understand. You have rules.
You
Maybe
told me one
for the
time
right
in
amount,
Louisville that-
Louisville?
you can bend them a bit.
A long
What?
time ago and a long way
How
off.
dare you? I'm the mayor, for God's sake, not some thug for hire.
Goodbye, Jeannie.
Goodbye, Matt.
Please, Mayor McDonough. This man Kellogg kidnapped my son. I need to find him.
What's it
I
all about,
see.
man?
I'm sorry, but however horrible the crimes this
What's
Mr.
anything
Kellogg
about
may
kidding?
have committed, your
Professor,
word alone isn't
What do you
hard
say?
enough.
We'll just have a little tune, huh?
I sure thing, Mr. Dillon. What'd you like to hear?
Oh,
So that's it?
How
You're
about
not
that
gonna
one on
help?
Foster?
Security is part of what keeps Diamond
Jeannie.
City above the petty squabbles.
Jeannie with the light brown hair.
You
bet.
I can't betray that
You knew her
for
before,
anything.
didn't you, Matt?
Yeah, I met her
Fine.
in Louisville.
Thanks for nothing.
I
Saw her quite a lot
disappointing,
for a couple of
but I
months.
have to think of all the people of
Then I
Diamond City,
drifted
not
up
just
west.
the needs of one
A
person.
man misses out on things by drifting.
I told her then if she ever needed help.
Mayor McDonough?
Back about
Call
this
me.
key business.
Well, she called.
I'm sorry,
And
but
you
I do
helped.
not condone unlawful searches of people's property.
Well, anyway, that's it.
Matt,
So that's it? You're not going to help?
Yeah.
Security is part of what
Loaded windbag.
when are you going to
Fine.
help yourself?
Thanks for nothing.
Gunsmoke, under the direction of Norman MacDonald, stars William Conrad as Matt Dillon, U.S. Marshal. Tonight's story was specially written for Gunsmoke by Les Crutchfield, with music composed and conducted by Rex Corey. Featured in our cast were Tom Tully, Lynn Allen, Larry Dobkin, Georgia Ellis, and Barney Phillips. Parley Bear is Chester, and Howard McNear is Doc. Join us again next week as Matt Dillon, U.S. Marshal, fights to bring law and order out of the wild violence of the West in Gunsmoke.
Hey, Geneva.
Did you need something else?
What are the tunes most people like best?
Who do I talk
For the
to if
answer
I
to
need
that
to find a
question,
key
listen
to
to
a
Robert
house
Q.
that's been
Lewis's
locked up?
Waxworks.
If you're talking about
Later
a property
tonight
that
over
the city
most
has
of these
seized,
same
we only
CBS
have
radio
one on the
stations.
books. Mr. Kellogg.
Stay tuned now for Broadway is My Beat, which follows
directly if you
immediately over most of these same radio stations. Roy Rowan speaking.
Come on.
On a
Can't
Sunday
you help me
afternoon,
yourself?
the
And if I
music's
could,
delightful.
Why should
On
I?
the CBS Radio Network.
Please. All I want to do is find my son. The man who owned that house kidnapped him.
I've heard the sob stories before, so save them.
Maybe we can reach an agreement? I just happen to have a pile of caps here.
A gift? For me? Oh, how generous. There I go again, leaving a key out on my desk and forgetting to put it back.
Around Dodge City and in the territory on west, there's just one way to handle the killers and the spoilers, and that's with a U.S. Marshal and the smell of gun smoke. Gunsmoke, starring William Conrad. The story of the violence that moved west with young America. The story of a man who moved with it. Matt Dillon, United States Marshal.